We're getting chickens. This will be our first animal on the property other than obviously the dog and the cat. They're always under my feet. We have a barely finished coop and we have a set date in 4 days, I think, to go pick up our chickens. So we still have a lot to do, and as you guys know, I am so excited to get these chickens.
Enough from the crazy chicken lady. I'm gonna show y'all what we have so far on the coop, and then our goal is probably not to finish it today, but get it really close to being finished. Yeah, I mean, maybe not even that close, but we got a couple days. I have a few days. All right, so behind me is the beginning of our coop. We have all of the framing done. We have the beginning of the nesting boxing done. What we're actually doing is creating a raised coop. Our dimensions are 8 foot by 5.5 foot. The idea is that this can very comfortably fit about 20 birds, but we're starting off with just 9. The outside, what we are using is plywood. We're gonna put a tin roof on, and the plywood we are burning because that will help preserve the wood from moisture. On top of that burned plywood, we're additionally gonna do a coat of polyurethane, and obviously the roof is gonna keep the water off of it as well. Now, one of the most exciting parts about this coop is it is barely costing us any money. Most of the money is just going into the hardware and the framing lumber. As y'all have seen, all of those crates that our solar panels have come in, we have been doing a ton of reusing of all of that lumber and materials. It's again being used here. So the plywood that I'm sitting on is actually plywood from those crates. We used like a specialty deck coating on top of that to help preserve that. And all of the wood that I used to build the nesting box is from those crates, and our 2 side walls are also plywood from those crates. The roof itself, if y'all remember, we had trouble with Lowe's of receiving that metal shed that we built. We only received half of it. Well, eventually Lowe's made it right, sent us a new shed, and obviously they didn't take the return for the special order of the other half shed. Well, the good part about that was we had all of the roofing materials from that shed in the half that we actually received, and that is what we're using for the roof up here. So we have pressure treated lumber for our actual ground contact lumber, but everywhere else we're not using pressure treated, and this is with the idea of having as few chemicals around where our chickens are living as possible, but obviously for the longevity of the actual ground contact, that's where we use pressure treated. So the grand idea is that we are going to be free ranging our chickens, but we will have a chicken run that we can use whenever we leave the property and have somebody watching our chickens for us. This way they don't have to round them up. We plan to have them trained and on a schedule, but it'll be a lot easier leaving our birds with other people if they can stay in a run. But the first phase of this is actually going to be using electric poultry netting. And the idea of that is A, it gives me less that I have to build right now, which as y'all know is super important. And B, we actually plan to use this electric style netting for when we get goats. So this netting that we're using temporarily for our poultry perimeter is then gonna be used in our goat pastures to contain our goats. And the importance of that is we'll be able to take that netting and move it in different places that we want the goats to clear. But the reason that even though we are free ranging these chickens, that it's really important that we have something to contain them in the beginning is when you first get your chickens, you want them to realize that this coop is home for an amount of time that obviously all different people disagree with on the internet, but we're gonna say about 2 weeks. So we're gonna keep them within this poultry netting close to the coop for about 2 weeks before we go ahead and free range them.
So there is about a million do's and don'ts on the deep dark web of the chicken world. If you you have been on any homesteading page, on homesteading reels, if you're in the algorithm at all, you know this very, very well. Obviously, we have never owned chickens before, so we are willing to take any knowledge y'all may have on taking care of chickens, but we have done a bunch of research ourselves and what we think will be best for us. Obviously, that can change, and really what we learned here is you don't know anything until you do it yourself. What works best for you and your family. It's gonna be a very, very exciting time in learning the world of chickens and what works best for us here at the ranch. So it's fun. It's a whole new thing. It feels so like real. Like it kind of feels like a homesteading like stamp of approval. Like you get chickens, right? So let's get chickens, baby. It is a little windy to be burning outside, so I am going to go to the cabin and burn the other piece of plywood that's gonna go on the front before we put it up.
While Cass is inside burning the front sheet of plywood, I'm working on finishing up the nesting boxes. So I'll show you what we got so far. So before I put the roof on hinges, I wanted to get these dividers in. So these dividers are just simple sheets of plywood, again, that we scrapped from the solar panel pallets. And then what I was able to use is these L brackets that actually came with that first half of the shed that we had replaced. So everything, literally this entire nesting box has been reused materials, including the roof that I'm gonna put on. I'm going to be putting a sheet of plywood on that with hinges that I think will probably put the outdoor polyurethane on, but then using another sheet of that tin or metal roofing material on top of that just to keep water off. And that's all down at an angle so that the water can slope off of it. And we are setting this up with 4 nesting boxes, and the internet says that you can have about 4 hens per nesting box. We've read a lot of people say that even with their 20 birds, they really only use 2 nesting boxes for whatever funky reason the hens do that. But even running by that 4 bird number, these 4 nesting boxes would allow for up to 16 hens in here. And again, we're starting off with just 8 and 1 rooster. There's actually a chance that we only put down bedding material in 2 or 3 of these in the beginning with these hens and not really use 1, but we'll kind of feel it out. Roof is on. I have the hinges fully in. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure how we're gonna do the top of this quite yet. I might actually take the hinges off, recenter the screws differently to put the metal roof on for a little extra protection, or we might just use some sort of really good quality paint or that exterior poly that we have. So whichever route we go, it's working pretty good. The hinges are sturdy. I definitely want to look at sealing up the edge closest to here, although the roof over here will overlap, so it shouldn't drip water down. I just want to make sure we keep these nesting boxes nice and clean, but working pretty good. Happy with it. And another task I'm gonna have before we actually get the birds in here is creating some sort of locking system so that can't just be lifted up and let a predator in. That's one of the biggest things to pay attention to as we're doing this, is making sure that every opening or every door or every window is secure enough to not allow predators through.
Are you behaving?
Done burning it.
I feel a little loopy.
Feel a little loopy from the fumes?
Yeah, but I'm done and it's ready to go up.
She says she was burning it in there because the wind was blowing out the torch, but I think she was just cold.
Yeah, I'm cold. It's overalls, a sweatshirt, another long sleeve, a winter hat. It's freaking cold, man.
Let's get that front board up.
Look at them. They are going at it, playing tug of war. We are getting close to kind of finishing, right, Henny? Kind of finishing. But look at this. This will be the front of our chicken coop. We're gonna put it up here today, which is very exciting. We're getting the roosting bars in. We are getting the nesting boxes are done. Like, it is just coming together. Looks less of just like a structure on the property and like more like a chicken coop. Hey, baby, hold up. We are using 2x4s for the roosting bars. So it's the Taj Mahal of roosting bars. Gives them plenty of room.
Yeah, we heard that 12 inches per bird on a roosting bar is the Taj Mahal, and we're gonna have 13 inches per bird.
Ooh.
And that would still allow 10 birds, and we only have 9.
And we only have 9 coming.
They're gonna have plenty of room.
We're gonna be nice and comfortable in here.
But we purposely built this to scale because
Yes.
we have
Chicken math.
we have heard that chicken math is a thing. You get one, you get a ton.
You get one, you get a ton.
So, yeah.
We're giving ourselves room to expand if we want to earlier. And if we want to get guinea hens and a couple other things. So there's room to expand over here.
I got it.
I can measure.
I got it.
I can measure.
I got it.
Stop being so you. It's measuring.
You want to hold this?
No, I don't want to hold that.
Okay, then I got it too.
You're a control freak. I'm doing this one.
No. If it is not perfect. Wrong. Wrong.
No.
Wrong. It needs to be on this side.
Why?
Because that's where I need to align the bottom of the board up. That'll work. Immediately did something wrong though. Immediately was like, oh, he did this side on all of them. Let me change that up real quick. Let me.
Look at that, baby.
Roosting bars.
You're in the hen house. Is that,
Roosting.
you're roosting?
Cool. I guess I don't coo like this. Hang on. I'm gonna back it up to the nesting box.
That's you laying eggs.
That's me laying eggs. It's nice, right?
It's so nice.
Huh. So, babe, now that all the walls are on, how do we get in? Just kidding. We have a door.
He's so stupid.
Scared you.
Scared you. That's the front, baby. It looks good, no?
It does.
There's still something to do, but it's getting there. Look at my doors! A big priority of mine with the chicken coop was be able to clean it as easy as possible. So I wanted as big as doors as possible, and we did it. They open all the way up, and then we have all this room to get in there, clean all the poop up, and be good.
I think they're still gonna get wet though.
Still gotta do a roof. Day 1,246 of working on our chicken coop.
So we are almost done with the coop. We got a couple windows in. There's another window in the back that we'll show you. And we filled that in with 1/2-inch hardware cloth, so super sturdy. We have the door and, what do you call this? A chicken ramp? The hen ramp?
Hen ramp.
Hen ramp. Still got to put 1x2s, strips across it. I guess that helps them have traction. I don't know, but everybody does it, so we'll do it. Right here, boom. Got a little too excited. That's the door. Still have to come up with just like a little post to hold this up. Eventually we're gonna go with an automatic solar powered door. This is just the first phase here, and it was super easy for us to put together. Come around the other side. These doors were already on, but we reinforced them with additional slide locks. And here's the inside.
Woohoo!
It's looking pretty good. You're not going to be able to see it, but I started the roof there, and there's a little, about 1.5 inch gap that's going to allow for a cross breeze right through the top. Then we have the 2 windows on the front, and this one more narrow but wide window in the back. which is going to allow breeze. Then obviously in the metal roofing, each of those little rises that it has will allow for breeze through. So we think we have plenty of ventilation in here. I think I want to build like latch doors on the windows, so in the winter when it gets real cold, we could put those over. But now I'm just putting the roofing on, and then the coop is done, and we just got to start thinking about the poultry netting for the run.
So one of the most important things for our ladies is obviously a water and feeder. We decided to go with these roosty ones for now. We will see how we like them. I'm currently putting them together. They're overall easy to put together once you understand what you're doing. 14-pound feeder in a 3-pound water. 3-gallon water, not pound, gallon water. And yeah, they're pretty cute too. So this should be plenty for our girls right now. We'll see if this is the best solution. I think eventually we actually want something that's more automatic. So whether it's like rain collection into the system and then an automatic feeder, we'll kind of figure it out as we go along. So the chicken coop is finished.
Woohoo, at least as finished as it's gonna be for this video. Just a couple little things left. I don't know if you can see it, but we got the poultry netting up. I just gotta connect the Energizer, but we got it all laid out.
And now all we have to do is get our girls. We'll see you next week.
+9 to the Runaway Ranch, baby.
+9.
See you next week, y'all.